北溪天然气管线是重大跨国基础设施，有关爆炸事件对全球能源市场和全球的生态环境产生重大负面影响。如果核实的调查报告属实，这是不可接受并且必须受到追责的行为，美方应当向世界作出负责任的交代。
Direction of the President of the United States, fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command successfully took down a high-altitude airborne object off the northern coast of Alaska at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today within U.S. sovereign airspace over U.S. territorial water. On February 9, North American Aerospace Defense Command detected an object on ground radar and further investigated and identified the object using fighter aircraft. The object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight. U.S. Northern Command is beginning recovery operations now. U.S. Northern Command's Alaska Command coordinated the operation with assistance from the Alaska Air National Guard, Federal Aviation Administration, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have no further details about the object at this time, including any description of its capabilities, purpose, or origin. The object was about the size of a small car, so not similar in size or shape to the high-altitude surveillance balloon that was taken down off the coast of South Carolina on February 4. In regards to our announcement last night regarding the high-altitude surveillance balloon, I'm not going to have much new information to provide other than to say that the North American Aerospace Defense Command continues to monitor it closely. While we won't get into specifics in regards to the exact location, I can tell you that the balloon continues to move eastward and is currently over the center of the continental United States. Again, we currently assess that the balloon does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground at this time. We'll continue to monitor and review options. First of all, we are aware of the PRC's statement. However, the fact is we know that it's a surveillance balloon, and I'm not going to be able to be more specific than that. We do know that the balloon has violated U.S. airspace and international law, which is unacceptable. And so we've conveyed this directly to the PRC at multiple levels. And in terms of specific locations, I'm not going to be able to go into specific locations again, other than to say it's moving eastward at this time. So the balloon is currently assessed to be at about 60,000 feet. So again, well above the range of civilian air traffic, or where civilian air traffic would normally fly. Certainly aware that there are cameras, civilian-owned commercial cameras that could spot this balloon. In terms of guidance to folks, again, this is something that NORAD is closely monitoring. We do assess at this time that it does not pose a physical threat, as I mentioned, to people on the ground. So we'll just leave it at that.
You said that this is violating our airspace, so why not take it down?
Yeah, so clearly as we assess options and considering the size of the payload on this, looking at the potential for debris and the impact on civilians on the ground or property damage, again, running through the various factors and looking at in terms of does it pose a potential risk to people while in the air. And right now, as I mentioned, we assess that it does not pose a risk to people on the ground as it currently is traversing the continental United States. And so out of an abundance of caution, cognizant of the potential impact to civilians on the ground from a debris field, right now we're going to continue to monitor and review options.
Algunos lo dijimos básicamente cuando sucedió, puesto que para comprender quién está detrás del acto terrorista de las explosiones en los gasoductos rusos de Nord Stream no había que tener mucho más que un poco de sentido común. Pues bien, hoy lo confirma un reputadísimo periodista estadounidense. Efectivamente, fueron los Estados Unidos y además no lo hicieron solos. Se trata de una operación conjunta entre Estados Unidos, Noruega, Dinamarca y Suecia. Un acto de guerra contra Rusia y, por supuesto, un acto de guerra contra Alemania, país cuya industria se beneficiaba enormemente del gas barato ruso. Llevaban meses preparando la operación y aprovecharon un operativo de la OTAN en el mar Báltico para realizarla, para colocar explosivos que detonarían tiempo después, el día 26 de septiembre. El plan era redondo, se beneficiaban prácticamente todos, menos, claro está, Rusia, Alemania y, en general, la gran mayoría de los ciudadanos europeos. Estados Unidos por fin acabaría con esa gran dependencia alemana de la energía barata rusa y le vendería la suya 4 veces más cara. Noruega podría vender más gas en Europa. Suecia terminaría entrando en la OTAN y a Dinamarca, socio histórico de los anglosajones, Rusia sencillamente nunca le ha caído demasiado bien. Teniendo en cuenta estos hechos, por supuestísimo, Rusia no tenía que tener ninguna preocupación sobre el hecho de que la OTAN fuera a establecer sus bases en Ucrania. Esto es realmente gravísimo, por mucho que, amén del tremendo currazo que realizan los medios de la propaganda occidental, Occidente entero prefiera obviarlo. No solo estamos hablando de terrorismo de Estado y una tremenda catástrofe medioambiental que casualmente terminaron provocando los que defienden el medio ambiente cada vez que tienen la más mínima ocasión. Estamos hablando, pensadlo bien, de un acto de guerra que podría suponer directamente la Tercera Guerra Mundial. Y teniendo en cuenta todo lo nombrado
in January, threatened to blow up the Nord Stream pipelines so that Russia couldn't send gas to Europe. Remember this?
I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
So then in September, somebody blew up the pipelines, and that was the biggest man-made environmental disaster in history. So it was pretty obvious to us the Biden administration was involved in this. We said that, and we were immediately denounced by the entire left and the entire media as agents of Putin. We were a little bit surprised to see Toria Nuland essentially admit last week that she did it.
Senator Cruz, like you, I am, and I think the administration is very gratified to know that Nord Stream 2 is now, as you like to say, a hunk of metal at the bottom of the sea.
I think there's 2 really important things for the American people to take away from what you have just outlined here. Number one is that statement from Victoria Nuland just exposed her and the administration's truth, which is that they have been lying to us all along about this. There's no way the United States was not either involved or knew about this or at the very minimum approved it. The second thing that's important to recognize that is very dangerous is that they are setting a precedent through what her statements are and their actions that now that it is acceptable to go and essentially use sabotage against infrastructure. The argument is very clear. Hey, look, if it's okay to go after and bomb and destroy Russia's oil and gas infrastructure, why would it not then be okay for someone else to come and attack our own, exploit our own vulnerabilities here? So this is the position that the warmongers in Washington have put us into, we the American people.
北溪天然气管线是重大跨国基础设施，有关爆炸事件对全球能源市场和全球的生态环境产生重大负面影响。如果核实的调查报告属实，这是不可接受并且必须受到追责的行为。美方应当向世界做出负责任的交代。
There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
It is obvious that American business can become the locomotive that will once again push forward global economic growth. We have already managed to attract attention and have cooperation with such giants of the international financial and investment Goldman Sachs, such American brands as Starlink or Westinghouse have already become part of our Ukrainian way. Your brilliant defense systems, such as HIMARS or Bradleys, are already uniting our history of freedom with your enterprises. We are waiting for batteries. We are looking at Abraham.
Що повинна робити НАТО? Унеможливлювати застосування Росією ядерної зброї. Але, що важливо, я ще раз звертаюсь до міжнародної спільноти, як це було до 24-го. Превентивні удари, щоб вони знали, що з ними буде, якщо вони застосують, а не навпаки. Чекати ядерних ударів Росію, щоб потім сказати, ах ти так, ну ось тримай від нас. Переглянути застосування свого тиску. Ось я вважаю, що повинна робити НАТО. Переглянути порядок застосування.